So originally I wasn't going to do this. Like I said, based on my channel, I was going to be reviewing a lot of older films, but I kind of had a feeling that this movie was going to be pretty awesome, and let's just say it was. Deadpool, the latest Marvel film that is starring Ryan Reynolds and directed by first full feature movie director Tim Miller. I want to start off by saying that this movie was not very long, but it was filled with comedy, it was filled with action, it had a really good origin story to it, and it had a pretty good love story as well. So all in all, it had everything you really wanted for a good film, which in all honesty is pretty surprising coming from a Marvel film, even a comic book film, or just a superhero film, just any film in general, really. Usually all those don't really tie in together, and it was done really well, and I honestly believe that the R rating was very necessary. There was a lot of blood, there was a lot of violence, the F word was said a lot, there was nudity. It was all pretty necessary, though. I don't feel like nothing was really forced. I don't feel like it was like, that was a little too much. It all felt pretty appropriate for Deadpool as a character, because going in this movie I didn't really know much about Deadpool, but the little I did know, I know he was foul-mouthed and he was kind of obscure, so I did know that that was necessary, and like I said, I didn't feel like it was forced. It was pretty smooth. So also, surprisingly, the character development was really done well, because before this, unless you read the comic books or played the video games or known Deadpool and any other source, all you knew him was from Wolverine X-Men's Origin. Yeah, that guy. Sometimes learning from your mistakes really does benefit, because I think that's what they did with this film. Ryan Reynolds, he was a producer for this film, and he was just like, yeah, we're not going to have any of that crap, and I really think it was done well, and with him at the helms, you know, kind of being behind the ropes and, you know, saying, hey, I want Deadpool as this character, you know, I think it was done well. Like I said, going into this film, I didn't really have any expectations, because I didn't really know much about Deadpool as a character, so I wasn't sure what they were going to do. All I knew from the trailers, and when I saw the trailers and I saw that they had it as an origin, I was kind of nervous that it was going to be origin, slow build up, you know, all that crap, then him as Deadpool, and then whatever plot, you know, bad part going on, and for him to have to journey and be the superhero. You know, I thought it could have been pretty dry, and then all that humor and all the crude jokes would be pretty forced, but fortunately that wasn't the case. With that being said, the movie began with Deadpool as Deadpool. He wasn't even Wade Wilson yet. He was Deadpool, and he was on his journey, and it was already really funny in the cab scene. And I think it was done really well, because we got the action out the way right away. So it's like, bam, hit you hard. It wasn't a slow build up. Bam, got out the way. All right, let's go. This movie's cool, and I'm prepared now. We saw him as Deadpool for a little bit with a nice, cool action scene. Then we flash back to him as Wade Wilson, and not Wade Wilson the lover, not Wade Wilson the terminally ill, not Wade Wilson in the army. No, it was just Wade Wilson. Yeah, he was a former special forces guy, but he was just Wade Wilson at the time. So he did have the skill sets already, but he was just him. He was doing some mercenary work for whatever, and now I thought that was pretty cool, because it started off, it was a real funny scene, and he's being a badass, but he's still being comical at the same time, and it's a very enjoyable scene. And then we start, you know, seeing the evolution into Deadpool, and I think it was done really well, because we meet Vanessa, which is his love interest, and it wasn't cheesy. You know, she was actually a smart ass, and she had some crude humor to herself, so I thought that was really cool, because they meshed really well. And I just, you know, so when the terminal cancer part came into play, you kind of felt for the two, and it was kind of saddening, to be honest, but fortunately the humor didn't stop. There was a lot of comic relief, so a lot of the moments where it's like it could have got really dry, or it could have got sad and just took away from the action or the humor, it was able to come back into play. But it wasn't forced humor. It was actually, you know, once you got to know these characters, you're like, yeah, that's probably something they would say. So it was believable, and it worked really well, because, you know, it didn't take away from the plot, it didn't take away from the story, and it just still made you laugh. So I thought that was pretty cool. So as I said, that first scene where he's Deadpool, that's a pretty cool action scene. So there's only really two other battle scenes, I would say, and let's just say they're choreographed really well. But with that being said, there was action throughout the movie, but I would just say that there was 3 main battles, but they were done really well. Like I said, they weren't forced. There was a lot of CGI and there was a lot of special effects, but it didn't take away from the movie. It wasn't really noticeable. To be honest, the only reason I noticed this is because I was looking for it, and I just felt like it was done really well. It was beautifully shot. There's a lot of slow motion in some moments, like you see in the trailer, and I thought that was pretty cool. Like I said, going into this, I didn't really know nothing about Deadpool. The only thing I really knew was that he looked like Spider-Man, which I thought was kind of weird, and I was like, I was kind of iffy about it because growing up, I loved Spider-Man. I loved the animated series. I loved the original movies. I didn't really like Amazing Spider-Man 1 or 2, but the original trilogy, I liked them, and I liked the series. So I was like, I feel like it's playing off Spider-Man too well. But I did a little research after I watched the movie, and I realized that it's meant to be like Spider-Man because Spider-Man's the nice guy, your friendly neighborhood spider. But Deadpool is not a nice guy. He's a badass. He's got a foul mouth, and he floats that line of good and bad. So I wasn't really sure how I was gonna take it. It was a rated R comic book film, a rated R superhero in a sense. So I was like, it could either be hit or miss, and fortunately, it hit. There honestly wasn't anything to complain about. The only nitpicking thing I could complain about is that the plot is kind of cliche. You know, boy meets girl, blah blah blah, chase. I love all that stuff. I mean, like I said, the fact that it was splitting the origin of Deadpool to Wade to Deadpool to Wade, it kind of took away from the cliche plot. So I thought, other than the fact that I was kind of drilling and hawking for some flaws, I really didn't find many. I'm not gonna say it was the perfect film because some scenes and some aspects of it were pretty safe, but all in all, it was a really done film. It was really well executed. The acting was really good. Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. I can't imagine anyone else being Deadpool. He loves the character. It's done really well. There's gonna be more, whether it's Deadpool movies or him appearing in other Marvel films, whatever. We're gonna see more Deadpool, and it's because it was executed really well. I'm gonna give this film a 9 because, like I said, it was done really well. The plot and the story was kind of safe, so it didn't really pop out and it didn't wow me to be one of my favorite films ever or anything like that. But I definitely liked the film, and I definitely will be getting it on Blu-ray when it comes out. So I definitely suggest that you guys do too. And if you plan on seeing it in theaters, which you should, definitely go see it in the IMAX because it was a great experience. The action was boom in your ear, in your face. It was loud and it was thumping and it was really cool. The soundtrack was really good. The score was really done really well. So overall, this film was a great experience. So I definitely suggest you go see it. So, did you see it? Have you seen it yet? Do you plan on seeing it? After watching this review, did it make you want to go see it? Let me know what you think. Did I give out too many spoilers, which I didn't plan on it? I don't think I did at all, so just let me know if I gave away too much. If you saw it, if you disagree with anything I said, let me know. Comment, subscribe to my channel for more, and thanks guys.